TV family had 3 sons named Brad, Mark, and Randy.
Brad,
TV
Mark, and Randy?
Family, yeah.
I'm going to go with the Home Improvement family.
No way.
Is that right?
It. Yeah, you got it. I really did not think it is the Taylors from Home Improvement.
Yep.
Wow.
Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Did you watch that show?
I did watch that show.
Wow.
Now, I didn't remember their names because I have not seen that show in like over 15 years.
Yeah.
But I did remember there was 3 boys, so that helped.
Wow. That's I really didn't you said the names and I was like there's no way he gets this, but you
I'm full of surprises.
You surprised me, yeah. So Jeff, you're still in France.
I'm still in La Rochelle, France. Mm-hmm. It's a very nice coastal town. I recommend it if you're on the west side of France and you like the coast.
Yeah.
If you don't like the coast, you're gonna hate it here.
Yeah. Imagine like going there and you don't know that you're on the coast, and then you're like, oh god damn it.
You're like, is this water?
You
didn't tell me this was gonna be here.
For the longest time, I didn't know a lot about Chicago as a kid growing up, despite living very close to it. And when we visited, way too deep into my life, I'm not even going to say when it is we went there. I was very shocked to see that we were on a lake.
Now, I'm going to guess the time you went there. I'm going to guess it was for when you went to check out DePaul.
It was 3 years earlier than that, but yeah. That was it was funny because I didn't get into a lot of my dream schools for college, but I did get into DePaul, and we kind of just accepted it before I visited, and we visited after I accepted. And when we were there, my dad was like, do you like it? And I was like, yeah. He's like, well, you better, because this is kind of where
that's where you're going.
Don't really have a choice, yeah. But yeah. Anyway, I'm really tired. I feel like that's noticeable on this podcast.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty early where you are.
It's sort of early. It's almost 11 a.m., which is not that early. But I'm mostly I've done 2 days of this. I'm not a festival rat, but I've been at Pitchfork because I bought the 3-day pass.
I saw your some of your social media posts. Yeah.
And it's very exhausting. I forgot how exhausting going to a music festival can be. I've never gone more than like 1 day. I always just do 1 day and then that's it. But I've done 2 days in a row now, and I'm going after this podcast. So I'm just like, and I went to a midnight screening of The Thing last night. So I'm just like really out of it.
Wow. Okay. I see you. That's, because Karsten, yesterday night, like for his night, it was when I was already like asleep because I'm 7 hours ahead.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, so we were going to do the podcast like early morning. Can we just do like regular morning?
Yeah.
And then, I was like, okay, I feel like you must have been awake late. So I was like, okay, well, we can do that.
Pretty exhausting.
Because we're very flexible on this podcast.
Yeah. We don't have...
We're two chill guys. It's like, who's to say, like, what schedules are or anything. Like, we're just like, hey, you want to record now? And we're like, yeah, maybe 30 minutes. Then you're like, cool, that's chill. I'm going to make tacos. Because Carson, he eats tacos a lot, actually. It's something a lot of people don't know about him.
You know what? You say that as a joke, but I do eat a lot of tacos, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're
You just
amazing.
had that vibe.
Yeah. But yeah.
It sounds like a Google review for tacos. Like, it's Carson Runquist. I think they're amazing. I love the picturization.
Dude, I not to jump ahead, but I was looking for Google reviews for today's movie, and it was not easy. A lot of them are like very genuine, but there are some good ones. There are some good ones.
I was actually thinking about that while I was watching the movie. I'm like, I bet the Google reviews are mostly serious because
Yeah.
it's not like The Mummy where the general like population is going to be searching out and watching this film.
Right.
Like you have to know this film exists to like find it.
Yeah. The people, I don't know. I mean, I guess the fact that it's on Prime opens it up to a larger crowd. And we definitely have some interesting people who decided to watch this movie.
Okay. Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah. But other than that, I didn't have a lot. I did go to the state fair. It was pretty fun.
Yeah. You've been doing a ton of activities in the last week.
I have. I also, after the state fair, went to northern Minnesota and then like stayed up there for a little bit and then drove back here. It's just been really. We picture locked dirtbag, so that's good.
Yeah, you picture locked dirtbag, which is huge. Which I am excited to see it.
Yeah, I'm excited to show it to you. It turned out. There's some really funny stuff. But yeah, point is I've just been real out of it.
The government in France has never sent me the health pass, so I haven't actually been able to go inside.
Yeah.
Anywhere the last week.
Oh my god. That's why your hair looks so crazy because you haven't been able to get a haircut.
Yeah, that's why. When I was traveling with the German guy I was traveling with for 3 weeks through the Balkans.
Yeah.
He needed a haircut, so he tried to get one in Bosnia, but of course, like the guy cutting his hair couldn't understand each other, so he had to like try to gesture how he wanted it. And he like, I saw him when he got back. He came through the door and he was like super mad. And he's like, "That was the worst haircut I've ever got." So that kind of made me like cautious of getting a haircut when I can't speak to the person doing it.
Yeah, I did get a haircut when I was in France, and my what do you call it, a barber? I don't know what the alternative. Yeah, he did not speak any English. So I had a very similar experience, but he did a decent job. I was just kind of like, he went like this, and I was like 2, and he figured out how to.
Yeah. You're like
deux inch.
Yeah. You know, okay, here's what I learned also. This is actually interesting to me.
Okay.
Because obviously they don't use inches here. And Apple, when they make their laptops and stuff, they don't want to like try to make a screen size that's in centimeters.
Yeah.
And also it's just like a weird measurement for screens.
Yeah.
So what they do is they just keep the inches from like the US models. It's all the same, but they just call them thumbs.
Wait, really?
Yeah. So it's like you buy a MacBook and it's like 13 thumbs.
13 thumbs?
Because like a thumb is about an inch, so it's something that people here can like in their brains like understand.
Wow. I wonder if like that's the case with more than just Apple. Like a lot of
I wonder too.
I wonder if that's
like,
a norm.
You go to a TV and it's like, yeah, I need a 55 thumb TV. You know how you measure things like with your feet? You'll like walk it out. Do you think they like go across the screen going like?
Yeah, they're
just putting their thumb over.
People with like really small thumbs. They're like, this is bullshit. This is a lot less than I was.
This is way too many thumbs if my thumbs are this small. I had to correct you there because you were going under. And if
I was going under,
it would be bigger.
Supposed to be over. Well, but then you could say like, oh, actually, you're right. Never mind. I was. I'm not gonna try and defend that one. You know what I've been getting a lot of recently are spam texts.
Really?
Yeah, I've been getting like a lot of them. I don't know what I did, but actually, well, like I have to.
What did you do?
I have to use a lot of those like YouTube to MP4 converters for my videos, and every time I use one of those websites, it's like a million different like pop-ups happen on my screen.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if I have gotten some sort of scam once or two times. Yeah, but pretty bad.
Are you getting a lot of different like spam texts, or is it just like one over and over again?
This morning's was pretty funny. It was like one of those emails that was like Laura at and then a bunch of gibberish.com, and the message was simply hi ... and then a link. I was like,
that's intriguing though.
Yeah, I was I was like, wait, do I know Laura at gibberish? But yeah, no. I get the ones that almost get me are the Amazon ones where they're like, your package has been delivered. Click on this link.
And you're like, I have a package?
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, it's Christmas.
Yeah. You know what I keep getting? This happened multiple times in the last couple months, is people who follow me on Instagram.
Yeah.
I get like I guess their Instagrams are getting hacked, and then they'll send me they send like a message where they're like, hey, you will be interested in this. Check out this link. And then they send you like a fake link.
Yep.
And to like open like an Instagram picture, but it's like it's a fake. It's like a phishing site. So then they want you to like re-enter your Instagram login details.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you opened any of those links? Like,
well, the thing is, like, you can open them and it's fine.
Yeah.
But as long as you don't enter your details, because then it's like, that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they hack your Instagram and then use the same thing, and it becomes like this whole like web of hacked Instagram accounts.
The message I've been getting a lot of is it's like the same message over and over again as someone being like, I spent 3 hours making this. I hope you like it. And
yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
That almost got me because I was like, that seems like a thing a fan would send me if they were like, I made this like fan art or something or an edit.
Exactly.
And then I got it like 3 more times.
Yeah.
And I was like, thank God I never clicked on it.
Yeah. Also, even if they were real, I would feel bad that many people were spending 3 hours of their time making me something.
Yeah. It's like, oh no.
I'm like, wow.
That's 3 podcast
doing the world
episodes.
a disservice.
Yeah.
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 I have been getting like for the last like 2 years. I've been getting every couple weeks the same spam text that's saying that they're checking back if now's a better time to attend an online talent call meeting, or it's an online talent open call.
Yeah.
And it's like every time it says, so we're checking back, and it's like I haven't responded to these in over a year, so I feel like obviously it's not a better time.
No.
Don't
know what they're thinking. Yeah. I recently, do you know, have we talked about that one scammer YouTuber? I forget what his name is, but he scams scammers and goes into like, he's like really good at like hacking into their calls
I think I've seen that,
and exposing their names and stuff.
Yeah, there's a few that do that, but
yeah,
those are crazy.
He recently got scammed himself into deleting his YouTube channel, and it's crazy. It's like, because someone like sent out an email that looked like it was YouTube and was like, you need to do these things, and it looked like super legit, but he noticed like 3 things after the fact that like were clearly scams. But yeah, it led to him like entering his email, deactivating his account, and I was just like, wow, not even the scammer guy is safe.
That's why I just I don't like try to antagonize people.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. If you ignore them, then I think they're like, okay, fine, this guy like saw through it. But if you like go on the offensive, then they'll probably try to keep going after you.
Right. Yeah.
You know, you gotta be in that mindset where you're like, maybe I want this guy to kind of like me.
Yeah.
Like you could respond and be like, nice scam, dude. You almost got me. Like, try again. Maybe I'll fall for it.
I think he literally, because he found the guy's like WhatsApp that scammed him, and they had like a conversation where he's like, "Why are you doing this?" And like tried to like talk him down from it. He's like, "You know how many people's lives you're ruining, blah blah blah." And the guy was like, "I just need the money." It was like a movie watching it.
Wow.
Yeah.
You should pivot and become one of those guys.
I know. I was like, I should get into the scamming game.
It'd be funny because since you have no technical knowledge to do that, you would just be getting the first part where you fall into a scam, and then you wouldn't know how to like flip it.
Get
on
out
the
of
other
it.
Guy. So it's just a series where you just get scammed over and over again.
I've lost all my money and all my accounts are deactivated, but I think this channel is gonna take off. I think.
This channel's taken off, but I have no control of any of it.
Yeah.
Some other guy has the password. Well,
imagine getting sponsored by a VPN, and that's like the content you make.
It's like, if only I had this VPN on.
Yeah, all my information has been hacked, but yeah.
I have 7 bank accounts in my name, and I have access to none of them.
Oh man. Okay. Well, I guess we'll move on to the next thing, which is the movie.
Wait, do you have any news? Is there any news segment?
All the news has been really not light recently. I mean, there's not much to riff off of. Yeah, no, I really don't have any interesting news. Let me look up Variety. They usually have some cool movie news. I always go to the New York Times, and I'm like, they don't.
Yeah, that's I think a mistake.
It's like 8 different articles on 9/11. I'm like, we can't riff off.
That's
this.
No. No. I mean, do you remember 9/11?
Actually, so we are riffing off 9/11.
We are riffing off slightly, yeah. And it's also outdated because it was yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's going to be 2 days for when it's released, yeah.
I do not remember 9/11. No. My mom told me that they canceled school. I was in preschool, for the record, and she came to pick me up and drove me home. The only thing I remember, I don't remember the actual day, but I do remember a bunch of American pride around me when I was younger and being like, wow, a lot of American flags all of a sudden. But that's all I never even saw the footage of it until middle school, I think, which is weird. And when I saw it, I was like, Jesus Christ. Why is no one talking about this?
Yeah, I do remember it because I'm very old.
Yeah. We know.
So I was in 5th grade.
Wow. That is... Damn.
Yeah, so I heard, on the bus, because I was taking the bus to school, and I heard from the radio that the bus driver was playing, they announced that happened.
Yeah.
And then when I got to school, we just watched the news on TV, which seems like a weird...
Yeah.
thing. I don't know why we did that. So we were just watching these buildings on fire when I was 10.
Jesus.
And then halfway through the day, my parents came and picked me up.
Wow.
But yeah, it was, yeah.
That's weird. I mean, I suppose in the moment that made sense because as an adult teacher, you may want to check in on that.
I'm sure they wanted to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that's why they did it, is they wanted to watch it.
Yeah.
Because it was a pretty
big thing.
Confusing moment as well, because obviously in hindsight you kind of have a better context, but at the time you didn't really know if the world was ending.
Right. Yeah. Not it's the same thing, but when COVID started happening, that week that Tom Hanks got it, I was doing LA Quarter, and we didn't learn anything that day in class. I think we just talked about COVID the entire time, which I feel is when shit like that happens, nobody wants to do anything else but think about what's going on. I guess. But yeah.
We did just manage to riff off 9/11.
We did.
So I guess we don't even. Is there anything on Variety that looks good?
Oh, there was something. Well, it's not Hold on. Wait. There was something about Paramount. I don't know if you saw this in the news. Where is it? You know what? It's too hard to find. Point is, I think Paramount is they have a new CEO, and they're doing big changes where they're going to shift from doing big theatrical productions into focusing on branded what is it called? Just things meant just for streaming. And
yeah.
I'm like,
do you have Paramount Plus?
I don't. I haven't. I feel like that's the one I don't have yet. How is it?
I have watched a few movies on it just because they happen to be on Paramount Plus. I have not watched any of their original content. The only reason I have it is because they have the Champions League European soccer. It's the only reason I have it.
Yeah, that's cool. What movies have you watched on Paramount Plus?
Ooh, there was one. Oh, you know what? I think I watched Sonic the Hedgehog.
No, wait.
I watched that a few days ago.
Yeah. We should talk about that movie, did. Honestly.
Yeah, it's Yeah. I probably could have picked a better movie to watch.
Yeah, I guess.
Cause I haven't seen a lot of the recent releases. And
right.
I decided to watch that.
Well, that's
one of those things where you get in a mood, where you're like, I don't really want to have to think.
Yeah.
Because if I watch the Green Knight or something, I'm gonna I'm gonna turn my brain on and
yeah.
You know, but
that's fair.
There I just okay, blue thing go fast.
So he's a hedgehog. It goes really fast.
And then there's Jim Carrey just spinning in the circles a lot.
Jim Carrey's really good in that movie, in my opinion. I think he's.
I mean, I think the
it's a return to form.
Okay, I agree with that. I just think that he's acting for a movie that's different than every other person in that film was acting.
Yeah.
It's like it felt like they were in different movies.
Totally.
Because you have the classic, like American, like hard-working blue-collar guy, and he's just acting like a normal buddy movie, and then Jim Carrey's like acting like a crazy person.
Right.
So I don't know. It didn't feel that. It didn't feel like they were living in the same universe.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what Jim Carrey would be good in is today's movie, Annette.
As what character? I might ask.
Baby Annette. I don't.
Yeah.
That was a pretty solid segue into
perfect.
I don't know if you've been watching my videos. You probably haven't, but my sponsor segues have been really good recently. Something I'm proud of. But anyways,
what if I'll make a video that's like I just watched every Karsten video.
So you don't
back
have
to back.
To.
So you don't have. I just give one sentence summaries of all of your videos.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, he didn't like Dora the Explorer.
Yeah. Well, today's movie is Annette. It's directed by. It's a 2021 musical and drama directed by Leos Carax. I think that's how you pronounce his name.
He's French.
He is French, which
like where I am.
Yeah, he's probably not too far away from Jeff. He might just be in the room. I don't know. The synopsis reads, Henry is a stand-up comedian with a fierce sense of humor who falls in love with Anne, a world-renowned opera singer. Under the spotlight, they form a passionate and glamorous couple. With the birth of their first child, a mysterious little girl with an exceptional destiny, their lives are turned upside down. And it stars Adam Driver. And with music, apparently it's based on music by the Sparks. Like, they made music before this, and then they made a movie out of it. But
I don't know if I believe
that
these were real songs before this, because the songs are all just like them saying one sentence of exposition dialogue over and over again.
That is, that might not be. I think maybe it was like loosely based on something, and then you know what? Don't take it from me. I don't.
That hit song by the Sparks. I'm not that drunk. I'm not that drunk.
Yeah. Yeah. I was always when this like premiered, because it was I think the opening film at Cannes, and people were saying it was like really weird, but like a lot of people really didn't like it. They were like, this is a disaster, but a lot of people did, and they were like, it's really fun and interesting and weird. And I was like, that sounds cool. And then I watched the trailer and it looked really cool. So I was like really excited to see this movie, and saw it like the first screening possible. And I was like very on the fence about it when I first saw it, but have not been able to stop thinking about it, which is why I was like, we should talk about it on the podcast. And now we're here.
And now we are.
But before we get into our thoughts, I guess we should read the Google reviews.
Yeah, honestly, much more interesting than our thoughts.
Yeah. This first one, actually, I won't start with this one. This first one comes from Debanjan. It has a Garfield profile picture. It is 1 star, and I'm going to try my best to read this. It is, now's day, people make anything in the name of art after smoking weed and doing drugs. LOL. One person found this review helpful, it says.
Can you give it a little thumbs up? I think 2 people have now found it
helpful.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it. I found it very helpful. Like, oh, good to know. Going into this movie.
Nowadays, they do make anything.
They do make anything after smoking the weed. Doing drugs. LOL.
Yeah.
This next one actually comes from Jeff. Not you, but another Jeff. Jeff Burwell.
Jeff B.
Jeff B. Another 1-star review. This one, it reads, "It's terrible on every single level. I would have gotten up and left, but my girlfriend wanted to stay. She might not be my girlfriend for much longer." And 18 people found this helpful.
Is he insinuating something with that?
His girlfriend going to like check the reviews. She's like, "What?" She's like, "Jeff." And then this last one comes from Diane Keel. It is like a very old woman, as I can.
All right, let's see what Diane has to say.
She said, "Wait, where'd it go?"
How many stars?
Also 1 star. The best ones were 1 star. I checked all the other stars, and they weren't that funny.
Yep.
This one goes, "You ruined it with the sex scene," spelled S-E-E-N, "in the being of the movie. I'm disappointed with 99% of the movies I see because there is always a bedroom scene. If I wanted to watch porn, I would watch porn." Says Diane Keel. And 3 people found this helpful.
This is the best segment that we've ever added to the podcast.
I love it so. There's always something in the reviews.
There is, this is 100% a Karsten Rundquist invention, this segment. I want everyone to know. And it's my favorite segment we've ever had.
Totally, yeah. It's a really good segment. We finally found our thing on the podcast.
Yeah. It only took us like 200 episodes.
Yeah. Almost 3 years of doing this. So yeah, Jeff, what did you think of the movie? I'm on the edge of my seat.
Okay. This is objectively a weird movie.
Yeah. It's
and
very
this,
weird.
I believe, is the director's first English language film.
Okay. Jeff with the research. Wow.
I was hoping that you would confirm that. No. I was not 100% sure of that. I was like 80% sure.
I actually don't think you're correct, if I'm being honest.
Ooh.
Wait, let me I think Holy Motors is an English film. No, it's French. Never mind.
Okay, I might be right.
Yeah, you might be right. Anyways.
Either way, it feels like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because some of the dialogue in this just feels so like weird. I don't know. But also a lot of it's not dialogue. A lot of it's just
singing, yeah.
Weird singing, but it's so like full of exposition that they're just singing about what's either happening or immediately about to happen.
Yeah.
And they just repeat the same thing over and over again. Like it's not really a musical. It's just like singing instead of talking, but also they're talking in a way where if this was dialogue, it would get absolutely trashed by people as being terrible dialogue. But somehow it's acceptable just because they're singing it instead of saying it.
So you just don't like operas because that's what an opera is.
I don't. I'm going to be honest. I've never seen an opera.
Neither have I. I mean, I've never gone to the opera.
So is that what the point of this is then? I think that makes a lot of sense now because she's an opera singer.
Yeah.
So they're just making the whole movie an opera. But I think that there's maybe a reason that most musicals aren't
operas
in the opera style of musical.
Yeah.
Because it's weird.
It's weird. There is one, I've brought this movie up one time on the podcast, and I'll bring it up again now. But there's a movie called Umbrellas of Cherbourg that is entirely sung. Like, there's no speaking. It's just all music. So, obviously, a lot of it's just, like, singing what's happening in the movie. And that one works really well because it never feels, like, repetitive. Whereas with Annette, by, like, the hour and a half mark, you're like...
Yeah.
It's like the same kind
even
of...
the first song, the song is just the same line. Yeah. I'm like, yes, just start. Start already. Adam Driver, start driving.
He does drive a lot in the movie, for the record.
He does actually drive a lot.
Yeah. One of my favorite scenes is when he's like driving. I forget what happens beforehand, but he's like screaming really hard on the motorcycle in like the middle of the desert, going like 100 miles per hour.
Was that after his really weird comedy performance.
Yeah, where he said he's like, I killed my wife.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Okay. I also want to say there's no world in which Adam Driver works as a stand-up comedian. None.
He's not cut out for that career. No.
He's cut out for a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like he's cut out to be a lumberjack.
Oh my God. Yeah.
He absolutely works as a model. He works as an actor.
Definitely an actor.
Adam Driver does not work
as a stand-up.
Except for he doesn't work as an actor and as a stand-up comedian.
Yeah. I mean, I thought some of his jokes were kind of funny in the movie.
Yeah?
Some of the earlier ones. I'm forgetting what they were. I think it was just like the way he like grabbed things. They're kind of funny.
Yeah.
To me. I like that he was really into bananas.
Yeah. And then also like the opening joke every time about the room being really smoky.
Yeah. His robe. Yeah. So you didn't like his stand-up? You would not.
No, his stand-up set was terrible.
Henry McHenry's stand-up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing. I kind of just I don't think I thought the movie was hilarious. I'll say that. I think it's a really funny when Baby Annette is performing at like the Super Bowl or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, she is a baby after all. I'm like,
yeah.
This is hilarious.
Yeah. Do you think that because there wasn't like that obvious of a reason that the baby needed to be like a puppet?
No, yeah.
I mean, like, obviously, like, there's some, like, metaphorical stuff you can throw in there.
Right.
But theoretically, the baby could have been a real baby. So do you think initially the baby was supposed to be a real baby, and then after a while they got through the, like, more of the script, and they're like, wait a second.
They can't.
We can't put a baby up there. This has got to be a fake baby.
That's literally what I thought at first, because they don't make it that obvious that it's a doll at first. When she gives birth, I'm like, that is the fakest baby I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's right.
I was like, this is not a real child. And then the more into the movie you go, I'm like, oh, so that they're not even trying to pretend at this point.
Yeah.
That is clearly a doll.
Yeah. And then I spent about 30 minutes saying, like, but why?
Yeah. And they never...
I don't understand.
They never truly explain it. There's, like, some dumb reasons you could give. Not dumb, but, like... I feel like the one thing that because I've read a little bit about the movie, and I think it's like most of it is about like the like exploitation of children in like media and like using them for that, kind of in the same vein as like what is it? I don't know. JoJo Siwa's a stretch. Puppet? Yeah, but JoJo Siwa's like this child.
Like
yeah, and just making them like stars without their consent, really.
Yeah. The thing, though, is, like, that still comes across even if it was a real baby child and not a puppet. Like, you didn't... It just made it weird.
Yeah.
Like, my favorite thing was when... I forget which scene it was, but the baby was lying in bed with their arm, like, straight up.
Yeah.
Then it comes over and, like, bends her arm down.
Yeah.
I'm like... I also couldn't tell how funny this was supposed to be.
I know. And I don't really care because I just had a good time. That's the thing. I'm like, I don't know why the baby was a doll, but ultimately I'm glad it was because it made the movie very interesting to watch, in my opinion. Even though it was pretty creepy sometimes.
Yeah.
That doll.
It feels like this is somehow like a new genre that my brain has never seen before.
Me too. I was like...
It's like really weird choices that aren't really explained.
Yeah.
It'd be like if Adam Driver's skin was just green for no reason the whole movie and no one acted like any...
It makes
like
sense,
it was
yeah. Yeah. God, the weirdest thing of this movie that no one, I feel like, is talking about are those, like, TMZ, like, cutaways. They're really, really weird.
Yeah. I know, it's like, what am I watching? The bling ring?
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't really come prepared, but I figured there'd be a lot to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, saying all of these things, I didn't have necessarily a bad time. It sounds like I'm only saying, like, weird and negative things I thought about this film. The thing, though, is it was interesting. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think I just wish that the songs were less repetitive.
Yeah.
And that also, like, the like blocking and like the dancing performances of the songs was like a bit bigger, because it was kind of like they were just doing their normal thing but just happened to be singing.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like there were any big like showpieces, which I don't know. It just, I think that's not necessarily anything wrong, but I think that combined with how basic the songs were made the singing, I don't know. It did feel like it fit in with the rest of the film. So obviously, but it felt like it was kind of boring, I guess.
Totally. I honestly think that's where I stand too, because like the part of this movie that I'm just like not in love with is the music, and I'm like, if this wasn't a musical, I feel like it would honestly work a lot better and would have more freedom to do weird things. Because I feel like my favorite scene is when, what's his name, Simon Helberg, I think is his name.
Yeah, that guy from Big Bang
Theory. When he's doing like the conducting, and that's the no one's singing, but there is like he's doing like the music.
Yeah, it felt like whiplash.
Yeah, that was a really cool scene that had a lot of like quirk, and I'm like, this is this movie at its best. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, not to get into like spoiler territory, I don't think we're spoiling anything, for the record. I think whatever we say isn't going to take away from your experience.
Yeah,
but
it's you kind of have to experience it, unless we start performing all of the songs.
Yeah, in which case,
I'm not going to spoil it.
Yeah. I think it like flops, or it doesn't flop. That's not the right word. It doesn't stick the landing. I thought that last scene was just really drawn out and weird, and I was like, this is the part of the movie where they're trying to like give reason for everything that happened, and I'm not there for any of it.
And I don't none of it makes sense anyway, so just don't give us the like neat tying it in a bow. Like, just, I think they should have just cut off the last 10 minutes and called it a day. And left us like kind of having some questions.
Honestly, like at the sentencing, and then end it there.
Yeah.
But I was just on another podcast where one of the hosts was like, I hate movies that make you feel like dumb and like you're not smart enough to understand the movie. And I don't think this movie is like that, which is nice. I feel like it still manages to be enjoyable despite things being confusing. And if you choose to try and understand it, that just adds to your experience. But I do think in moments like that ending, and honestly, maybe like a few other scenes, it like fails to, make it entertaining for the viewer if they don't get what's going on. And I think that's my main issue with it.
Do you have an example of a film that has made you feel dumb?
Yeah. I would actually give me a second. There is definitely a movie, but I'm blanking at the moment. Do you have one?
Kind of, definitely for stretches of that. What's the like Under the Silver Lake?
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah, the Andrew Garfield one. Yeah, that one. I think for parts of it, I was like, "What's happening here?"
Totally. I think my most.
I did not feel that with this film that we're talking about.
Yeah.
For the record.
Totally. I think my most recent example is I saw this Oscar Isaac movie the other night called The Card Counter, and
what's just really basic impressions?
Briefly, I thought it was terribly acted, not by Oscar Isaac but Tiffany Haddish. I really like Tiffany Haddish. She was terrible in this movie, and I think just like the script was really bad and a little bloated, poorly paced, and that was just a movie where I'm like, this isn't hard subject matter to grasp, because it's like a war film. It's like torture and war and like the aftermath, but I just was like, this is way more messy than it needs to be, and I think that's a good example of a movie that acts above you for no reason. But I don't know. This movie isn't that, Annette.
No, this movie acts around you.
Yeah.
You're like, I didn't even conceive that this was something I could be seeing right now.
I do.
Like, why is this wooden child smiling at me?
Yeah, I think, and I said this in my like what I watched this month video about this movie. Like, I appreciate it just because of how much it commits to the bit. Like, and how everyone involved does too. Like, Adam Driver's there for this movie. He does not hold back at all, and neither does like anyone else. And I think that's just like really fun to watch. It's like people that fully believe in what they're making, because then you start to like. I don't know. It's just more like it's easier to absorb yourself in something like that.
I think definitely with the caveat that they had to pretend that there was a wooden puppet child that was real. The acting was really good.
Yeah. I wonder what being on set for this was like. Cause
do you think it was like Space Jam?
Yeah. I just like there's definitely had to be like green screen scenes here. Which means, like, at some point they had this wooden doll on, like, a thing with a green screen. And Adam Driver, who's, like, one of the most serious actors, had to, like, give it his all. Yeah. I don't know. I was kind of, like, on the fence about it when I first saw it. Just because of, like, kind of the reasons you listed. Where I was like, that was a little bit too boring in parts where it shouldn't have been. And I don't really know what it all means, but exactly what I thought was going to happen has happened, where I have really been like in the mood to watch it again, because I'm like, that was just really fun despite how weird it was. Yeah.
Now, how many more films for Adam Driver that are similar in tone to this do you think it'll take before you can have a feature length Adam Driver like being violent in a house cut, like super cut?
Yeah, it won't take that much more, to be honest. He's got a lot of that under. I feel like he always has one scene in his movies where he gets really angry in a house.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Marriage Story or no?
Yeah, I've seen Marriage Story.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just so I understood the memes.
Right. You had to be there.
Yeah. It's actually like the one meme where you absolutely did not have to be there. Like, you don't really have to watch it at all to understand that he punched a hole in a wall.
Yeah. Well, I guess we can wrap it up. I feel like we did a good job, maybe.
I feel like we should say that after every segment.
I feel like we did a good job.
We did a good job there. Well done. Virtual pats on the back.
Yeah. So what are you feeling for a score here?
Now, this is really tough for me because this is a weird movie.
Could be anywhere
but
on
I
the
didn't
scale.
hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't really have that same feeling you had where you really want to watch it again.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to be quite different here. I think I'm going like 2.5.
Wow. That's fair. I feel like that's what most people I know are giving the movie, which is completely understandable. I think this is someone posted on Twitter that like this is the first movie where everyone they follow on Letterboxd gave it a different rating. It's like all across the board. I'm not obsessed with it the way I know some people are, but I do really enjoy it. So I'm gonna go like a 4. I think I can't see myself
that's where
going
I thought
higher
you would
than
land.
that. Yeah, but cool. That is Annette. It's available on Amazon Prime, and it's 2 hours and 40 minutes. Not 40, 20.
No, 20. Yeah. Do you think I should mention in my Letterboxd review the picturization?
Yeah.
If I just in every Letterboxd review for like the next like until indefinitely, I just start including the word picturization in every review.
Mine's gonna be too many bedroom scenes. There's literally one bedroom scene.
It's like you should just do if I wanted to watch a porn, I would watch a porn.
Wait, no context. Just be like, if I wanted to watch porn, I watch porn. My review of it's the top review for Annette.
And also 4 stars. Yeah.
Loved the movie. If I wanted to watch porn.
I honestly am really hoping that's your review.
I might have
you think
to.
Letterboxd? You would have to. I mean, Letterboxd might shadow ban it like your review last time for The Mummy.
That could happen. Yeah. I feel like I can say this. It's gonna be out tomorrow by the time I post this. But I was on the Letterboxd podcast, their official podcast, so I got to talk to them directly.
Did you ask them why they shadow banned
your
Mummy review?
I did not ask them that, but they
That's really cool though.
They brought up a bunch of my like one-liner reviews talking about how.
Ooh, okay. I am actually really excited to listen to this podcast.
It is really it's funny because they're basically like, how do you feel like being like, you have a large following on this platform, and I could not justify that following. I was just like, I don't really know. Yeah, it's a fun podcast. You should listen to it.
I am very excited. I will absolutely be listening to that tomorrow.
They like
today when it comes out.
Yeah. They have you like plug something, as all podcasts do. And I didn't plug my channel. I plugged the podcast because I was like, you know what needs the plug? The Karstcast.
You know what? But like the plug in, not not pulling the plug.
you need to get plugged out. The podcast. Yeah. Well, that's the movie for today. We should get into questions.
We should.
Because Jeff, I didn't know if you had a hard out.
It was a medium out. It's totally good. All good.
We'll finish this up then. This is actually a fun one. These come from the subreddit, by the way, r/Karstcast. And this first one comes from Isabel is unable to. And it's, what profile pictures do you use on Netflix, Disney Plus, etc.? I think we'll just do Disney Plus and Netflix, I guess, because I don't think I have any interesting ones on other platforms. But Jeff, I'm curious to hear what your profile pictures are.
So on Paramount Plus, I got Tommy Pickles from the Rugrats.
That is not what I expected at all. But that's so funny.
On Netflix, I got BoJack Horseman.
Wow.
On Disney Plus, I got like old-looking Mickey. I think those are the only ones I've specifically set. Oh, no, wait. On Peacock, I have Sean Spencer from Psych.
Wow. Nice. That's great. See, I only freaked out about the BoJack Horseman thing because I'm Mr. Peanut Butter on Netflix. Ooh. So it's very much like, real life.
Wow.
Well, no, I didn't mean it like that. You're an alcoholic. Yeah. I'm a washed up dog.
Washed up dog.
Yeah. Mine are so I'm Mr. Peanut Butter on Netflix, and it sounds like I'm like giving out my username for these sites.
Yeah. And my password is smallpox7.
Yep. That was a very realistic password. I don't know.
Smallpox7. Yeah. It's because no one would do if you're trying to guess it, no one would write smallpox.
Yeah.
It's a terrible disease that killed millions.
I don't know why I'm laughing. My Disney Plus one is Troy Bolton from High School Musical, and not Paramount. What is it? Peacock. I think I'm like one of the Boss Baby characters, but not the main Boss Baby.
Yeah, you're like a
side.
Wait, okay. I've never seen Boss Baby. So the movie's called Boss Baby, but then there's also like most of the babies are just like assistant babies.
Well, it's complicated. There's like a lot of babies. And there's like the normal babies that the boss in the first movie, that is. There's like the neighborhood babies, and they're all like side characters in the same vein as like, Finding Nemo, he's got his friends, at school.
Yeah, so there's one boss baby.
There's one boss baby named Ted.
And the rest of the babies are normal babies?
Yeah, but they talk. They can talk to the boss baby.
Yeah.
But they're like normal babies. But
yeah, but are there any of them wooden like Annette?
No fake babies. in the Boss
What
Baby.
if Annette was Boss Baby, like an Annette Boss Baby like crossover?
The girl Boss Baby. Yeah. I already made that.
And then yeah. Okay, yeah,
right,
let's just we'll move on from
right.
that. Yeah, that was going nowhere. That was that was like a train going against in Looney Tunes when they paint the tunnel.
Yeah,
and then you
train
smash
crashes.
right into it because Actually, wait, no, the train doesn't crash. Wile E. Coyote crashes. The train somehow can go through magically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This next one comes from Sagey Stay Away. What toppings do you get on a hot dog?
Okay, so this is actually more complicated than it sounds.
It is actually
because Karsten lives in Chicago. I am looking to move back to Chicago sometime in the next few months. Chicago has its own type of hot dog,
the Chicago style hot dog. Yeah.
So I think for me, I'm one or the other. Mm-hmm. So Chicago style hot dog has this whole thing where it's like you don't put ketchup on a hot dog.
Yeah.
But I'm from Florida. Ketchup is often the only thing you put on a hot dog in Florida.
Yeah.
So I can do either. I love the Chicago style hot dog, but I also am fine with just ketchup or just mustard.
Yeah.
So the classic, barbecue in your backyard level.
I grew up on the just ketchup thing, and I enjoy ketchups with hot dogs. I'm not one of those people that are like, fuck that. But
yeah.
I think it's good.
Now, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Have you ever put hot dog in one of your famous Minnesota hot plates?
Honestly, yeah, like little hot dog slices. I think I haven't put it in there myself, but I've eaten a hot dish where hot dog is in there, which is fucked up now that I think about it. It's really not an appetizing meal.
Yeah.
Hot dog and
also
cheese.
Yeah. I also feel like I might have interrupted you if you had one other thing to say about hot dogs.
Well, I was going to list off for anyone unfamiliar what a Chicago-style dog is.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
It's a steamed poppy seed bun with an all-beef frankfurter. I've never said that word out loud. It's topped with yellow mustard, bright green relish, fresh chopped onions, juicy red tomato wedges, a kosher-style pickle spear, a couple of spicy sport peppers, and a dash of celery salt. I had one yesterday at Pitchfork, and they're the best. They're phenomenal hot dogs.
Yeah, they're great. I will concede that very often I'll get rid of the sport peppers.
Me too. I'll man up. I'll admit.
Yeah, it's the worst part.
It's the worst part. Where do you think's the best place to get a Chicago-style dog in Chicago for anyone that's maybe visiting?
So when I lived there, I was very close to the Vienna hot dog factory outlet store and cafe.
Yep, we all know where it is.
It has since moved.
Oh.
It closed because that's where it used to be where the factory was.
Yeah.
And then they moved the factory and kept just that one part open that was the cafe and factory outlet store. That I'm almost positive has since closed. There is still a factory store, but it's somewhere else that I have never been to.
Damn.
So probably that new location.
Gotcha. Damn. I asked that question, but I didn't have an answer. I would just say not Portillo's. Portillo's is great, but that's not your place for the authentic Chicago-style dog. Any of those hole-in-a-wall type places, they come in all different names and size, like Jake's or Byron's. Usually they have the Red Hot logo, Vienna beef.
Yeah.
Those places will always have the best Chicago-style hot dogs. And,
Can't argue.
Can't argue with that.
Even if I wanted to.
This last one comes from Rust Rileo, and it's best food movie or favorite meal from a movie. I guess this requires some thinking. But I have...
Also, I don't understand the question.
Best meal you've seen. When you watch a movie and they have food and you're like, wow, that looks really good. You know?
Yeah. Okay. So, because originally it was food movie or meal in a movie, and that feels like two completely different questions.
Yeah.
Honestly, like one feels like it's a movie of like that Seth Rogen movie that was all about like hot dogs and stuff.
Yeah. Well.
So I think we'll interpret this as best like food you've seen in a movie.
Yeah. I do have an answer for best food movie though.
Ooh, what is it?
It is this movie I just watched called Tampopo, and it's all about ramen. It's like about it's a really funny movie. I honestly think, Jeff, you would love it. It's a really weird and funny movie about a woman whose ramen shop is like failing, and then two truck drivers come in and like save the shop. And it's like the whole movie is like an ode to ramen and just eating in general, and it's like makes you really hungry. It's a really good movie. It's really funny too.
Yeah, I will say I actually don't like ramen.
What? Wait. What? You've had like real ramen though, right? You're not.
I've had
just
real
referring
ramen
to
in Austin,
instant ramen.
Texas, from like one of the highest rated places in Austin, Texas.
Dog. Ramen's amazing.
And I can tell you why I don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm lazy.
Okay.
When I eat. It requires so much extra effort to eat ramen.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I don't think it tastes bad. I just am like exhausted while I'm eating it. I'm like, I just want like something I can like hold or like stick a fork in and put it in my mouth. I'm like kind of like swirl around and like scoop up stuff.
Gotta get like the big chicken and well that's it's like an experience when you eat ramen. You gotta like get in there and like
Yeah, bad experience.
I disagree. Yeah. I think it's delicious, but
But the movie sounds interesting.
It's a great movie. You should watch it. Yeah.
Okay, so let me try to think of best meal. I can tell you the worst meal I've seen in a movie.
Yeah.
There's a film that I was the B camera operator on many years ago, like 6 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
Called Scraps. You can watch it on Amazon Prime. The thing is that there was only one art person.
Yeah.
And the whole film took place around like a dinner table during dinner, but the schedule was that we were only filming like 6 hours a day for like 3 weeks straight.
Yeah.
So they had to keep like this chicken Caesar salad. They had to keep putting it back on the table, and I think they only changed it like 2 times. So it was like every week. By the end of the week, this salad looked disgusting because it was the same salad from like 7 days with chicken in it before.
That's vile.
It was so gross. They had to like keep making sure they swapped out the salad for when the person had to take a bite.
Oh God.
So that it wasn't the gross old salad.
That's really gross.
So that was the least appetizing.
Was this the one with was Mike in this one? Or is this a different movie?
Yes. Yeah, Mike and Damien are both in this movie.
I know what movie this is because I researched Mike pretty extensively before.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Wow. I did not know you worked on that movie.
Oh yeah, I was the B camera operator in so much that my roommate was the director of photography and I owned a C100.
Gotcha.
And they needed a second camera.
That's
hence
you being
B camera operator. Because the B camera was my camera.
Yeah. Well, I guess that counts as an answer. That's a pretty good answer, actually.
Well, that was the opposite of the question, actually. It said the best, and I gave the worst.
Well, we got both sides of it,
Yeah. Best meal in a movie. I don't have a immediate answer for this, I'm going to be honest.
That's, you know what, that's okay. If you got that
Sometimes we don't have all the answers.
Right. And that's what makes us human and not dolls. That's going to do it for questions.
Like my arm
today.
Doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get into the wrap up. Next week's movie is we didn't decide on it.
Okay, I was trying to see if you had something.
Do you have any ideas, Jeff? Cuz
I have like a crazy idea that I just thought of off the cuff right now and put no like literally it just popped into my head this second.
Go ahead.
It's a very like small indie film from like over a decade ago.
Okay. That'll do numbers.
About ping pong.
Yeah? What's it called?
Even if we don't end up picking this, it is worth watching because it's pretty funny. It's called Ping Pong Playa.
Looking it up right now.
At least I remember it being funny.
A 2007
12
film.
years ago.
Yeah. It is available on Prime for free. A slacker must preserve his family's honor by winning a table tennis tournament. Yeah. This looks okay, yeah. Oh my god. Never mind. There's a very racist review that I read for it on Google Reviews. All right, yeah. Well, anyways, we
okay. Well, we're not married to this film. We'll get back to you on what we're picking.
Yeah, yeah. We'll figure something out. I was just like, am I reading that correctly? I was reading that correctly.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll figure out the movie for sure. Think on it. Next, we want to read a review from Chartable. Because we like to hear what you guys have to say about the podcast, and even if it's negative, like last week's review.
I don't like hearing that.
Yeah, we like the 5-star ones more. This one comes from Denis Villeneuve. Oh, is the best. I was like, wow, the director of Dune is commenting on the podcast. But this one, it comes from Denis Villeneuve is the best from the USA. The subject line reads, I pissed my brother off because I listened intently to the podcast while playing Mario Kart. 5 stars, and it reads, I live really close to the Minnesota State Fair, the best fair. Therefore, this is a phenomenal podcast. Always excited to listen in. Thank you. Denis Villeneuve is the best.
That is a great podcast, or a great review of the podcast. Yeah. Except for, I feel like that was kind of a backhanded compliment, saying that it pisses their brother off.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We're divisive. You can't please everyone. That's what makes us really spicy as podcasters.
Yeah. That's true. Just like Annette doesn't please everyone.
Right.
We're kind of like Annette.
But we're interesting, you know?
Yeah. I'm like Adam Driver, and you're like the wooden baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
And little known fact, Karsten's singing voice is very similar.
Yeah.
To the baby.
Now, I'm not going to sing.
Can you,
if that's what you wanted me to do, but I should sing the patron names. I'm not going to do that. Anyways, lastly, we want to thank the patrons over at patreon.com/Karstcast. If you'd like to support the podcast, this is the best place to go to do so. Really helps us out. And you get tons of cool perks like bonus episodes, Q&As, shout-outs at the end of every episode, and Zoom Hangouts, plus anything else that comes to mind. Hoping to have some more perks in there at some point.
You can even tell Karsten how cool his outfits are in person during the Zoom Hangout.
Yep.
You can say, Karsten, that drip was fire.
Yeah. Happens every Zoom Hangout, to be honest. Someone's always saying that.
Yeah.
They actually
every time
all say it in unison. But yeah, it's a really healthy community over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, head on over to the Patreon, patreon.com/Karstcast. And thank you to Alex Thomas, Antonio DeMarco, Blake Root, Boat, Brandon Yu, Brock Schultz, Camilla, Chuck the Duck, Daniel Cook, David Sir, Eden, Gavin Henderson, Harry Remedianakis, Iva, Jaden Easton, John Van Hout, Jordan Hill, Judy S., Carson Do a Backflip, Katie T., Liv Rob, Lukewarm, Martin Duff, Mary Lee Borslow, Meridian, Michael Rennie, Monroe Page, Nora B., Parks, Riley Oss, Skylar Ermel, Sophia Arieta, Stella Perry, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, Smitty Werbin, Jagerman Jensen, Tom Likes Beans, Vegard Strom, Vera S., Was the Monopoly Man, Am Now the Monopoly Shrimp, Wes Kinley, Xavier Fossier, Yusuf A., and Zoe Hernandez McDonald. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, patrons.
Thank you for the support. Yeah.
Jeff, do you have any last thoughts on the day? What do you got going on after this, I guess?
Just being in France, really. It's just one of those things.
Being French as hell.
Being French, I carry around a baguette. I actually at one point did realize a couple of days ago that I was carrying around a bottle of red wine and a baguette. I'm like, wait a second.
You have kind of a mustache. You really, you ended up that way. Yeah.
I did. I can't help it. I don't know if I can ever come back now.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
I guess I'll just catch you on the flip side.
I'll probably catch you on the flip side.
Flip side.
you.